All right, let's get this thing started. How about you? How about you? How about you? Let's go! Happy Monday, people! It's Metal Monday, but this is supposed to be punk-type music. I don't know what it is. I just need to turn it down. So anyway, hi there. I'm Marty, and I'm here for our daily weekday show. It's not daily, but it's weekday. It's Monday through Friday, and I'm here because that's what I do on this channel. We talk about the news, what's happening, and obviously it's a Monday, so we're going to get caught up in a lot of stuff from the weekend, even stuff that I haven't gotten caught up on totally yet, but we'll do it together because that's what we do on Mondays. So, if you're ready, I'm ready. Shall we do this dance? Is there anybody new here? If you're new here, say hi in the chat and I'll say hi back. Anyway, hi, let's do the show. Johnny, play the intro. This means you got to turn that crap off. Thank you. Now, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Let's effing go! All right, Johnny, turn that music off. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where we talk about the news, things happening in the world, social issues, and all kinds of stuff. And occasionally, I'm not derailed by our friend Gutfox, who's already dropping bombs in the articles today. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, lots of good stuff though, man. It's wild the things happening. What the hell happened there? Anyway, so I'm glad you're here. It is Monday, the 20th of November, 2023. It's Thanksgiving week, and we're all thankful that we're all alive and able to just sit here and do stuff on the internet and have, you know what I did yesterday? I made, so, in the stores during Halloween, so they have a whole lot of pumpkins during Halloween, and on Friday, not just the regular big old orange pumpkins, but they have a lot of these little decorative pumpkins, right? And they had these cool pumpkins that were like yellow and orange striped pumpkins, and they were kind of flat, but they were like this big around, but only about this tall. And during Halloween, like before Halloween, they were like $7 a piece. They were like, these little pumpkins, just decorative pumpkins, were $7 a piece. And I went to the store and they were $3. And I'm like, well, I'm going to buy one just to see what I can do with it. And so I bought this little decorative pumpkin and I cooked it like you would cook squash or something. You'd put it in the pan with some water and throw it in the oven for, about an hour. And then I took the pumpkin flesh and scooped it all out. And I threw it in a bowl with some like sweet vanilla yogurt and a bunch of cream cheese. And, eggs and stuff, and pumpkin spices and whatever. And then I took some granola. I put it in a blender, crushed it up real fine, mixed that with butter, put that out in a pan, let that bake a little bit. Then you pour the pumpkin stuff on top of it. And I made these really good pumpkin cheesecake bars. And I was like, I just was experimenting because I didn't have a recipe. I'm just like, well, let's just try this. And I'm pretty good at baking and stuff. So I made some pumpkin bars and they were delicious. We had a couple last night and I told my wife she could take the rest to work because I really didn't want them. I just wanted to see what I could do with this stupid little decorative pumpkin, and they turned out pretty damn good. I probably could have added a little sugar to them, but I didn't. I thought the sweetness and the yogurt would take care of it because, like, when you usually make pumpkin pie, for example, you make it with sweetened condensed milk, right? And that's usually there's enough sugar in the sweetened condensed milk to make the pumpkin pie sweet enough to eat. But it was really good, and I'm pretty excited about it. And so now I realized those decorative pumpkins aren't just pretty toys to put out during Halloween. They're actually, you could eat the damn things. And so that's too much information, but it's Thanksgiving week. I love Thanksgiving. We always, Laura and I, we put on a spread, man. This year we have 13 people coming over for Thanksgiving. And we already got one. Well, I got to put the other turkey out so it'll start thawing the second turkey. Because I got a 22-pound bird for Thanksgiving Day. And then we also bought like another 16-pound bird. We always do one bird early in the week, and we make soup and send everybody home soup. This year it's going to be turkey wild rice soup, and send that home for all our guests. Because we usually don't. We have leftovers at Thanksgiving. We used to make 3 turkeys. We used to do a third turkey just to send leftovers home to people. We'd make enough food so everyone could take home leftovers. But it's like we're like, this shit gets expensive, and we're like, and really we might have some bird left over from this or not, but I don't know. I think we're just not doing the leftover part. But we're still doing the soup. We're sending everyone home some soup, and we're still gonna have a big old Thanksgiving meal. I mean, we put on a spread, man. It's crazy. So anyway, happy Thanksgiving week. I am thankful to be alive. I'm thankful every day that I wake up. I'm thankful that I can walk again fairly normally with my new hip. I'm thankful for a whole bunch of thankful for the grandbaby. Thankful the new grandbaby is going to be here in another about 2 months, and thankful my son got married and he's all happy and shit and all that. And we're just, life is good, man. Life is good. And then I got you guys. You guys, even though I'm doing this show to entertain you, you guys make my day. Just the fact that you show up all the time. So that's awesome. Thank you for doing that. I'm going to be thankful all week. You might get sick of me being thankful. Anyway, so hi, let's do a show here. By the way, Gunfox61 been busy this morning already, dropping 4 Hamiltons in the tip jar. And Gunfox61, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, dropping blood pressure medication into the chat, as in it will blow up my blood pressure, but we'll get to them. I promise we'll do those as soon as we get into the articles of the day and whatnot, even though I got 20, 30 articles open and a whole bunch of trending topics, because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on this weekend. There's a whole bunch going on. But before I do that, let's say hello. Hi to everybody in the chats, of course, like I do every morning. First, the chat over on Rumble. Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, and Mr. Tire Alexander. Oh. Get a little more psycho every time I do that. Anyway, first in the chat over on YouTube is also Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Good morning also to our friend Kara Soldier, Mike Savage, Blog, Tyler F, fake news expert, Gunfox61, the administrator of the P-Dog Night Discord server, dropping there every once in a while to find a lot of blood pressure activators. Also, good morning to Chicago Mike. Hey, what's up? Nice to see you here. I know it's going to be a rare appearance, more than it has been. Good morning. Also, Rick Ashbringer. Also, the Grand Inquisitor. I'm not playing it again. Tyre Alexander's here. Good morning. Also, JB, Attack Alpaca. Lord Stanhope's in the house. As I scroll down, who else is here? Eric Cole DiStefano, nice to see you. Frankie Deller's in the house. Blackout 8879. A lot of new regulars. Special K on Acids here. Scribe Light, Dog Thrapple. I don't remember. How do we start doing that, Scribe? I'm not even sure. But I like it. Dog Thrapple. Also, let's see. I saw somebody else down here. Tyler, Eric Cole, Frankie Deller. Did I miss it? Who am I missing? Oh, Cannibalistic Wizard. And now what? My friend from high school, and my friend Woo. Never going to be sick of anyone being thankful. You're so worthy of blessings you and Lady Knight are receiving. May the blessings continue to roll your way, my friend. Thank you so much. That just warms my heart, Wend. You know how much I love you. Thank you so much. And then and Jethro Hetero's in the house. Nice to see everybody. Okay. Now, what the hell? Okay, hang on. All right, I hate to do this, but it is my wife. Hang on, I have to answer this. Give me a second. 1 second. Let me, here, I'm going to put you on hold here. Just a second. All right. Sorry about that. I had to take that. All right, I'm back. So let's see. If you drop a lot here, check out Discord. No, I know. I've seen it on Discord, Gunfox. Okay. All right. We can hear me just fine. Good morning, everyone. Again, let's get into what's happening in the world now. One sad thing that's, and I look, don't care what you think about. I don't care what you think about them as far as their time in office, but it is sad. Note, former First Lady Rosalynn Carter has passed away at age 96. Former First Lady Rosalynn Carter, the close advisor to Jimmy Carter during his one term as the U.S. president and their 4 decades thereafter as a global humanitarian, has died at the age of 96. The Carter Center says she died after living with dementia and suffering many months of declining health. The Carters were married for more than 77 years, forging what they had both described as a full partnership. Unlike many previous First Ladies, Rosalynn sat in on cabinet meetings, spoke out on controversial issues, and represented her husband on foreign trips. Aides to President Carter sometimes referred to her privately as co-president, which, well, so they have something in common with the Clintons. Anyway, look, I say that the Carters in their post-public office life, minus the politics. I'm never a fan of the politics, but I think they were good people, and heart's always in the right place and everything. Definitely lived their life in the way their faith led them, doing stuff for Habitat Humanity, all kinds of things. So, sad to hear the passing of Rosalynn Carter. I know I can't even, let's see what they have here. Both Carters said in their later years that Rosalynn had always been the more political of the two. After Jimmy Carter's landslide defeat in 1980, it was she, not the former president, who contemplated an implausible comeback and years later confessed to missing their life in Washington. Jimmy Carter trusted her so much that in 1977, only months into his term, he sent her on a mission to Latin America to tell dictators he meant what he said about denying military aid and other support to violators of human rights. She also had strong feelings about the style of the Carter White House. The Carters did not serve hard liquor at public functions, though Rosalynn did permit U.S. wine. There were fewer evenings of ballroom dancing and more square dancing and picnics. They were just kind of down-to-earth people. Jimmy Carter had his peanut farmer persona, and, regardless of what you thought of him as president, like I said, I think they were good people in their post-presidential life. And so it's sad to see. And I always thought of her, I was just a kid when Carter's president, but she always just seemed like a genuinely nice person. So rest in peace, Rosalind Carter. Also trending right now, it is World Children's Day. Now, I have no idea. Who comes up with these things. Maybe is this a UNICEF thing? I don't know. But as we look at World Children's Day, a couple of the more prominent accounts celebrating this is the State of Israel. The State of Israel posted about this. While your children are at school, there are currently more than 30 Israeli babies, toddlers, and children being held hostage in Gaza by Hamas terrorists. On our World Children's Day, we demand action from the international community. Bring our children home. Unfortunately, a lot of the international community is just messed up on this whole topic, as far as I'm concerned. The Israeli Foreign Ministry, while your children, in that same message, and then. This is interesting. Someone named Chris Quinn. Today is World Children's Day. I'm calling for UN something. What is UNCRC be enshrined in law? Oh, I see what they're saying. They want this enshrined in law. For every child, peace. Every child everywhere has a right to live in a peaceful world. Yeah, sure. And we would love it for it to be a peaceful world. But sometimes people destroy that peace. I mean, I get it, and the sentiment is correct, and unfortunately, not everyone's willing to sing "Kumbaya." Good morning, Rock Hawker, by the way, Rob Hopper. For every child, a voice. Children must be listened to and included in all decisions that affect them. No. I'm scrolling through these pictures that they put up here. Children must be listened to and included in all decisions that affect them. No effing way. Children have no capacity for that. In all decisions that affect them, no. That's why they. Oh my god. That's silly. That's what the other slide. And then freedom, equality, and justice for all. And it's a great sentiment. But again, you have to have everyone on board for that. Unfortunately, not everyone is on board. Wars, climate change, economic turmoil. This is Antonio Guterres. Is he still the Secretary General of the UN? Yeah, unfortunately. Crisis after crisis. Children around the world are being robbed of their lives and futures. Children need peace now. God. Unless you get everyone on board with that, Antonio, it's not going to happen, because there's just certain people in this world who never want peace. And we're seeing examples of that in today's world. So I'm sorry. World Children's Day. Now, you know what else? It's also another special day. Another special day. And it's one of the 31 that we talked about a few weeks ago. One of the 31 special days for the LGBTQIA 2S, whatever, plus an LMNOP community. Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance. I don't know how we can forget transgender people, because that's all anyone talks about right now. But someone here says, ring that bell for Transgender Day of Remembrance. This day was founded to draw attention to the continued violence directed towards transgender people. You know what's funny? When they say violence, they don't mean necessarily physical violence, because, first of all, the 0.18% of the population that claims to be transgender, although if you it's funny, because if you talk to the youths of today, about 20% of them claim to be some sort of gender nonconforming thing, and then they claim that also, no matter what kind of gender nonconforming you're, also that makes you transgender. But it's just like, look, as violence directed towards trans people, let's just say that they're not the most they're not the most the most common crimed, what do you call it? They're not the most common victim of crimes. And it's, but so let's see, what is this one saying? Let's try this one. On this day of Transgender Day of Remembrance, I'm reflecting on the memories of those we lost too soon and honoring the resilience of the transgender community, I promise to continue fighting the transgender individuals' right to life, live safe, healthy, and authentic lives. Isn't that? This is dad, husband, progressive Democrat running for U.S. Senate in Maryland, David Trone. You know, it's interesting. The right to live safe, healthy, and authentic lives? Isn't that a contradiction of terms? What does that mean? That doesn't even make sense. Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance. We all need to reflect on the lives lost to transphobic violence. Give me some examples. Consider supporting organizations that make things better. Here's a good question from Chris, Billboard Chris. Good morning, Simon Wolfwood, and those ain't real, dude. Here's a good question from Billboard Chris. This is a great question. Will the pro-Palestine marchers be joining for Transgender Day of Remembrance? And in fact, here's Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, Transgender Awareness Week, because they get a Transgender Awareness Week in London leading up to Transgender Day of Remembrance. Get involved in any of the events taking place across London. Well, how about are they gonna start carrying around the signs at the pro-Palestine rallies? I'm just curious. That's a good question. That's a great question. So there you go. All right. Let's move on. We've had enough of Transgender Day of Remembrance. Okay, let's other things trending. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. President. I guess today's President Biden's birthday. Did you guys know that? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, President Biden.
You know the thing.
Yeah, that. Okay, anyway.
Come on, man.
So anyway, it's President Biden's 89th birthday. Okay, I don't know how old he is. 81. He's 81 today, and he's getting ready to run for president again. By the time the election comes around next year, he'll be 82 years old, and his dementia will probably be fully set in, and basically they'll be using, someone will stick a hand through the back of his neck and move his mouth and move him like a puppet. So there you go. Happy birthday, Mr. President. That's trending. And also, happy birthday, President Biden's trending. So lots of just thrilled and happy Democrats and other people. Look, this is the President of the United States. Happy birthday, President Biden. I have no problem with the message. It's a great message. It's his birthday. Happy birthday. President Joe Biden, not your average Joe. Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Jimmy Carter is in hospice care. Yeah, you know what? And what happens a lot of times, people that old pass, it doesn't take long for the spouse to pass, and it's just sad. And like I said, I think Jimmy Carter and Rosalind Carter were good people. But Joe Biden, well, I don't know about that. But anyway, happy birthday, President Biden. Enough about that. Also today, trending, Happy Thanksgiving is already trending. People are ready to, talk about the turkeys and stuffing and the things. And then I'm sure that there'll be a bunch of liberals talking about Indigenous Peoples Weeks, because I'm sure, that's what that is. But anyway, my friend Pinky here, we thank each of you for making our vision possible. Our vision is to empower men and women to build social empires that thrive. We've ordered 31 of our books. Can you help us give out 50? So they give out some books to people, whatever. Wow, here we get for you. Okay. Oh no. Stacey Abrams' brother-in-law was arrested in Tampa for human trafficking and attacking a teen. That's not good. Well, that's her brother. It's not her, like it's her brother, but and people were archiving his account. What are you? Here's a good one though. What are some of you grateful for this week? Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. In fact, that's a good question. Let's go ahead and I'm going to put that in the Q&A today. What are you thankful for this week? I'm not going to be answering these. I'm just going to put them up and we'll read a few at the end of the show. So there's our Q&A for the day. Thank you, Tyre, the wise ass Alexander, for sponsoring the show, dropping a small bullet in the tip jar, who says, Tyre says, I would like to say happy 324th day of shutting the fuck up. I hope you all observe my holiest of days. May the spirit of Saint shutting up the fuck, he was French born Austrian, visit visit their lips and bless them with the gift of silence. Okay, I didn't know it was the 324th day of the 324th day of shutting the fuck up. Thank you, Tyler Alexander, for announcing that holiday. That's a really good one. I greatly appreciate that. All right, back to trending topics here. Let's see. I got to make sure I do this in between. Also trending is, our friend Kyle Rittenhouse is trending again. Apparently, Kyle posted this. Is that today? What's the date? It's 19. He could post this yesterday, but he's trending today because of it. Kyle Rittenhouse quote, 2 years ago today. Accused of unjust charges, I heard not guilty 5 times over from a jury of my peers who heard the facts. My case split the nation into opposing sides, fueled my emotions, politics, and misconceptions driven by media and political figures. Today I want you to learn the truth and to know the real, honest version of my story without filters or an agenda. My story of survival, resilience, and justice is now available for pre-order. So apparently he's writing a book, or has written a book, or maybe with the help of a ghostwriter. This is the book, Kyle Rittenhouse Acquitted. And he's taking pre-orders for it if you're interested. People just you know what? I don't praise Kyle Rittenhouse and I don't trash Kyle Rittenhouse. The Kyle Rittenhouse is a fact of what happened, and the facts came out in the case, and he absolutely was not guilty of what they accused him of. And no matter how much people want to claim that he was thrown there to shoot people, he wasn't. It was clear from the case that he was acting in self-defense. And but still there are people convinced, absolutely convinced, that he was, there's still people who think he shot black people. That's the amazing part. Good morning, Renee Mann. How you doing? So anyway, for example, this right here, I'm gonna scroll up. This is what I saw earlier. The truth is, Kyle Rittenhouse purchased an AR-15 with the stimulus money he received from Donald Trump in 2020. Now that's fascinating that he's saying that this guy says he received the money from Donald Trump. Donald Trump flew to Milwaukee, took a limo to Kenosha. Is it Kenosha? I can't remember where he's from. And literally just walked up to Kyle and said, here is some stimulus money for you. That's what Donald Trump did that. And Kyle purchased an AR-15 with it. He and a friend purchased the weapon. He had a friend purchase the weapon for him because he was too young. Loved those gun laws. Well, now remember, Kyle didn't possess the weapon. He had the friend purchase it. And the friend was not in Kyle's possession until the day that they came into Wisconsin, where he could legally hold on to it. Then he said, oh, and then here's what he keeps on saying. He then went to a place of known unrest with a firearm and no training to play judge, jury, and executioner. Well, he didn't need training for that because that never happened. It's a good thing he didn't have training to play judge, jury, and executioner, because he didn't play judge, jury, and executioner. Kyle had no idea what the history of the people he shot was. Didn't matter, and he didn't care. Didn't matter. They attacked him. Self-defense, you moron. The first person Kyle killed had a plastic bag of toiletries. What the actual fuck does that have to do with anything? He dropped the bag before he attacked Kyle and grabbed the muzzle of his gun. It didn't matter if he had a bag of toiletries. The second was responding to the first shooting with a skateboard. Yeah, and guess what? People have been killed getting hit by the trucks of skateboards. The third pulled his gun because of an active shooter. Well, it doesn't matter. He pointed at someone who was holding an AR-15 and got shot. Self-defense, all three. That's the only one I could have given a pass on because he pulled his gun on Kyle too. There's no such thing as equal and opposite force. If someone's trying to harm you, you do not have to use exact proportionate force back. The things that were overlooked leading up to the shooting is insane. Like what? Like what? The entire trial got everything that was leading up to the shooting. Hello, Nomad. How you doing?
Stop. Hammer time.
Kyle wanted to shoot someone so bad he could taste it? What evidence do you have of that? None. There's nothing that even suggests he was interested in shooting anybody. There was footage all from the night. There was nothing that said he wanted to go there and shoot somebody. They were protecting someone's building that was away from the protest. The protest got moved to where he was. You gotta be kidding me. He wasn't the only, he had no reason to be there other than to get in trouble. Holy shit. He wasn't the only person there with a gun that night, but he sure was the only coward to use one. Oh my God. This is insane. This is insane. Now, someone who's responded to him, Chris Lowe, you are utter garbage. Kyle went on trial and was proven innocent. Stop trying to ruin his life. No, he was acquitted like OJ, learning the facts before coming to me, goof. Talk about a goof. Anyway, so that's the kind of stuff that people still write about it. Clearly, this asshole didn't watch the entire trial like I did. I watched every minute of the trial. But Jack Posobiec, God bless Kyle Rittenhouse. Congrats on the new book. Kyle Rittenhouse is a piece of shit murderer. Fuck him and fuck his book. Oh my gosh. So anyway, unbelievable. But he's trending again. So hey, yay, Kyle Rittenhouse. All right, let's move on. That's the book. I'll leave that up there. If you want to pre-order the book, it's there. MAGA cult is trending too. MAGA cult. Now, just because people, so here's what happened. So, and I'll get to it eventually, maybe. The January 6th tapes, much more have been released and put out in the public. And we're starting to see some really interesting things about what went on January 6th. Things that we said, I bet you they're not showing everything from that. And boy, oh boy, are we starting to get some good stuff from it. But there's a bunch of people saying, oh, MAGA cult, if you're part of the MAGA cult, if you're part of the MAGA cult, I want to follow you. Oh, okay. And then this liberal Lisa in Oklahoma, these are the headlines after January 6th. We all witnessed what happened with our eyes. No, you didn't. No, you saw very, very select footage from what happened on January 6th. And she points out all these media headlines. Yeah, it's funny. The media kind of all went on the same exact path with what happened that day rather than calling it a riot and started calling it an insurrection. Pro-Trump mob invades. All these newspapers, anti-Trump newspapers, too. Washington Post, Star Tribune, Minneapolis, Arizona Republic, News Tribune, Hartford Courant, Los Angeles Times, Kansas City Star, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and so on and so forth. Just all these papers calling it, a mob, capital chaos. Yeah, it was a riot. Yes, it was. And it was not a good riot. But you know what? A lot of it was, a lot of it seemed to be just nudged forward a little bit. It nudged a little bit forward. Nudge forward. Anyway, so some of the similar things. Oh, look, MAGA cult is trending. They must be trying to distract people from seeing clips like this one, which could lead people to ask the question, what in the world is going on here? Was the insurrection a clever trap using paid instigators? So, for example, this guy, he goes in here with cuffs on and he fist bumps this other cop. It's like, what? What is that? What is that? I'm trying, and I gotta be careful because I don't want to put any violence on the screen. But that's an interesting one. They had him in cuffs. They bring him into the look. I'll show you again. Here it is. Hang on. We'll show you this one. We'll show you this one again. Okay, so they bring this guy in because it's the Capitol. He's in cuffs. I don't even know how to explain these. He's in cuffs, and they're taking the cuffs off of him. And these are two Capitol Police. And then what happens right after he takes the cuffs off? What's this? What is that? Watch this. He fist bumps the guy? What's that about? That's weird. And you see, and there's lots of footage of things like people being escorted in. I mean, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, anytime that something that's possibly good for the MAGA people, something like MAGA cult will trend as something that's supposed to be negative. But it seems interesting that there's a lot of people also saying, oh, MAGA cult? Yeah, I'm MAGA cult. I'm not MAGA cult. I'm just the guy who talks about the news. But I do laugh about the January 6th thing a little bit, how they described it and what I saw as I was watching on live feeds that day. So very different things. So anyway, remember they tried to say the video of Antifa changing into MAGA clothes was fake because there was no leaves on trees in January. Well, that's debunked right here. Also notice there were brown leaves on the ground. So this is something I don't know if this is actually footage of this or not, but these people changing into MAGA clothes in the bushes, right over, and that looks like mulch. It doesn't even look like leaves. But then there's this footage, which, is that supposed to be the same person? I have no idea. Who knows? But anyway, so there's a whole lot of stuff going on with the so-called MAGA cult trending. All right, continuing on. Argentina's trending, and that's because they have elected a new president. Is that right? Or president or prime minister? What do they do in Argentina? President. They've elected a new president, and the left-wing terrible here says left-wing media is losing their mind. Wait, left-wing media, that's redundant. Left-wing media is losing their mind that a Trump-like libertarian won the Argentina presidency. Congratulations to Javier Milei. You are upsetting the right people. Who else supports him? Now, so this guy is he is very anti-socialist. Okay. And, the other question is, how did they know their election results so fast? Well, they banned electronic voting machines and have just paper ballots, and apparently they counted their paper ballots. And it's interesting because they counted 25 to 30 million paper ballots versus how Maricopa had 1.9 million, Milwaukee had 460,000, Detroit had 250,000, Fulton County had 523 ballots. Explaining how Argentina hand counted all of their ballots in a few hours, but the big blue areas of our swing states take several days with machines. Well, you know how it goes with those machines. They take a little more time when you got to make sure someone comes in. I better not say that. We just say the vans with the boxes, vans with boxes slow down the counting a little bit in most of these liberal areas. Anyway, let's see. What else do I got here about Archie? But anyway, now some people are saying that he's kind of a crazy dude a little bit. And he's kind of like the Argentinian version of Donald Trump, which, I don't care. So he's a guy from the Beatles who won. Yeah, he has that kind of Beatles kind of hair. But he says, leftist son of a bitches, be afraid. I like him a little more already. So let's see. This is Argentina's new president, Javier Milei. You'll notice he can't stand leftists. Reporter, why do you call leftists shit? He says, because they are shit. If you think differently, they will kill you. What did he say that's wrong? Anyway, so he's very unpopular amongst left-leaning people. Now, here's a little news story about it. So anyway, populist libertarian Javier Milei has won the presidential election in Argentina. His opponent, Sergio Massa, has conceded, giving Milei the win. The results are not what we expected, Massa said. I've contacted Javier Milei to wish him luck because he is president of Argentina for the next 4 years. Massa was the country's economy minister, and that economy has been in dire straits. So, Milei was mobbed by supporters earlier on Sunday when he cast his vote in the presidential election. He takes the helm of a country as Argentina faces the worst economic crisis in decades, and he's promised to fix it. Milei has stated plans to shrink the size of government, eliminate the central bank, and bring in the U.S. dollar. Argentina currently owes the International Monetary Fund $44 billion. Well, that's just peanuts compared to what we got. Anyway, did I say hi to you, James Stoner? If I didn't, hello. And Tyler F. A little earlier. Yeah, I got you. So anyway, Milei, a 53-year-old economist, was also a television pundit. He has criticized parties both on the right and left. His campaign symbol has been the chainsaw, which he uses to emphasize his plan to cut costs. He favors privatizing some state-run enterprises and making big changes to both health and education. So yeah, he's a common sense guy. Like, hey, we're dead. Let's stop spending money. I wish we had politicians like that. PJ Media also did a story on him. Let's see. Now, the Western leftist media is freaking out naturally, not only because Milei emphasizes the importance of culture war and he bashed leftism, but because he's peripherally made positive comments about Donald Trump. So all the media with Trump derangement syndrome is triggered. Below is a non-Trump related clip of Milei undated, which could trigger any wokey. Here, let's see. How long is this?
Al zurdo de mierda no le
We can't give shit leftards an inch. That's the clip where he says they're shit. Okay, we got it. Now, since the left can't beat their opponents in an argument, they weaponize the state, Milei said, using taxpayer money. But he insisted the left is losing the cultural battle. They seem to have lost the political battle in Argentina with his election. So it sounds very similar to what's going on in the United States. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get rid of the committee. We'll get rid of the committee that is Joe Biden. All right, now BRICS is trending too. BRICS is that it's kind of that new partnership between Russia, China, a bunch of other countries, and apparently Argentina was supposed to be a part of it too. And apparently with Javier Milei, they will probably leave BRICS since he's going to go back to kind of the American petrodollar. Javier Milei calls himself an outsider, but he agrees with the deep state on everything. Well, no, pro-Israel, pro-Ukraine, that's weird. Called China assassins, wants Argentina to leave BRICS, anti-Iran, Venezuela, China, Russia, North Korea, Nicaragua. You're just making him like him more except for that Ukraine thing. I'm not so convinced that's a good idea. But anyway, now someone else said another clown just won elections in Argentina. Expect some squabbles with Brazil, Colombia, Chile, Peru, and Venezuela. I don't think BRICS Plus needs a clown like this amongst serious players. Imagine Putin and Xi holding serious talks with the clown. He's at a rally. Who cares? They're passionate Latino and his peoples. And I don't care if he's doing that. Doesn't make him a clown. I bet he's also an economist. He knows shit. Just because he's riling up a crowd, whatever. Anyway. So because that's trending, I think this is also why Peru is trending. And again, because of that line, but also breaking news, the Daily Now, this is the best part. So Peru's trending, and I thought it was mostly because of what's happening in Argentina since they're right next to each other. But there's one headline out of that I go, oh, what the hell is this? Breaking news, the Daily, I'll expand this. Breaking news, Daily Mirror and The Sun just reported that residents and officials of San Antonio de Pinto Yajo in the Amazon rainforest region of Loreto, Peru, were attacked by 7-foot face-peeling creatures. Villagers have cleared acres of rainforest in an attempt to find the alleged creatures. There were reports that attempted to debunk these claims last year by stating the creatures were cartel members gold mining with jetpacks. The footage of investigative journalist Timothy Alberno's interview with a 15-year-old girl who claimed she was attacked by the alleged creatures was attached to the news report. I began reporting on the story in October. As I stated in October, there are news reports of what people called pelacadas appearing almost daily. So, I wonder, I don't have this on the screen, do I? I wonder, now this was the interview, I guess. Do you think maybe it's what's the movie with Schwarzenegger in the body and Carl Weathers and stuff where they're trying to kill the alien dude? Not Alien, but the other one. What's that called? You know what it's called. Anyway, I just thought that was the greatest storyline ever. So anyway, yeah, there you go. That's Peru's trending, and that's one of the stories. Predator, thank you, Predator. Lagos, Nigeria is trending, or Lagos, excuse me, not Lagos the city, but Lagos state. There's a state called Lagos too, is trending in Nigeria too. And this is wild, man. So apparently a lot of people saying, I've been seeing this video on the time and others on the timeline. Please, what is going on in Lagos? Is it that the land was not allocated or how? So what they're doing is this is the situation of Igbos, which is my personal tribe, in Lagos State now. Hundreds of Igbo properties continue to be demolished by the Lagos State government. They're going in and tearing down like neighborhoods. Here, I turn the music off. They're literally just going out and tearing down Lagos, not Legos. Lagos, Lagos, Lagos. They said Nigeria. They're tearing down people's homes. The state is destroying entire neighborhoods of Igbo people. Now, so if you're not familiar with Nigeria at all, there's three main tribes in Nigeria: the Igbo, the Yorubas, and the shit. Now I blank it out because my brain ain't working. But the Igbos are mostly Catholic. The Yoruba are mostly Muslim. And there's a lot of turmoil between the two in Nigeria. And the Igbos generally stay in the south and the east. The Muslims stay generally to the north. And there's just all kinds of shit going on. But they're tearing down these big ass houses. Apparently the Igbos have these. Here it is. Over 650 houses in Festac Town area in Lagos set to be demolished. The demolition process have already started. Most of the 650 houses belong to the Igbos. This is getting too much. Needy Igbos should start doing the needful, what they need to do. No one, we don't know why. We do not know why, but it's not a good thing. So, all right, I got to go faster because I'm running out of time. So the biggest story, the trending story, though, today is Microsoft. And apparently these two guys that were Sam Altman and Sam Altman and other OpenAI employees have left to lead a new AI division at Microsoft. So OpenAI is the company that does ChatGPT. And apparently there was a big dust up because this Sam Altman left ChatGPT, and many of his employees, there's like 500 employees, and they wrote an open letter that pledged to leave ChatGPT, OpenAI, and go to Microsoft if they did not bring him back. So the staff there, well, here it is. Here's Satya from. So Satya, Microsoft stock thing. Sam and Greg, the two guys who left ChatGPT, are all trending right now. So there's several topics, but here it is. The OpenAI staff threatens to quit unless board resigns. Nearly 500 employees of OpenAI have signed a letter saying they may quit and join Sam Altman at Microsoft unless the startup's board resigns and reappoints the ousted CEO, which was Sam Altman. I guess they got rid of Sam Altman, right? Hello, Bishop. How you doing? So now Satya Nadella knows what he's doing. Microsoft is winning this whole debacle. Satya says, we remain committed to our partnership with OpenAI and have confidence in our product roadmap and our ability to continue innovate everything we announced at Microsoft Ignite and in continuing support of our customers and partners. We look forward to getting to know Emmett Shear and OAI's new leadership team and working with them, and we're extremely excited to share the news that Sam Altman and Greg Brockman, together with colleagues, will be joining Microsoft to lead a new advanced AI research team. We look forward to moving quickly to provide them with the resources needed for their success. So they've already been poached. They've already been taken. They're going to Microsoft. A lot of the big developers at OpenAI, which, certainly that's exactly what Microsoft needs to prop up their business model that just never seemed to work. I still don't know what they do. I guess I still have I have an Office suite on one of my computers. But anyway, the big are going to get bigger. And this will make it easier for Microsoft to data mine with the OpenAI. They'll teach you to do that, I'm sure. So yeah, there we go. More power to Microsoft, I guess. So anyway, that's why Microsoft, or what's his name, Satya wins the reflexes of a startup CEO, resources of a $1 trillion company, pulls this together in 48 hours from a cold start, gets it signed and over the line before markets open on Monday. And their stock went up a little bit this morning, but it's down slightly right now, which you can see right here. At least it was. That was, what was that? Was that this 9 this morning? It started, oh, no, I guess it was, no, it was headed down, but it's back up again. Hell, Episcopo's Batisco. Man, you're killing me with this name, man. But welcome. Good to see you again. So, and then also Sam and Greg are trending. Now, here's the OpenAI. Here's the letter from a couple hours ago. This was to the board of directors at OpenAI. OpenAI is the world's leading AI company. We, the employees of OpenAI, have developed the best models and pushed the field to new frontiers. Our work at AI safety and governance shapes global norms. The products we built are used by millions of people around the world. Until now, the company we work for and cherish has never been in a stronger position. The process, though, through which you terminated Sam Altman and removed Greg Brockman from the board has jeopardized all of this work and undermined our mission and company. Your conduct has made it clear you do not have the competence to oversee OpenAI. When we all unexpectedly learned of your decision, the leadership team at OpenAI acted swiftly to stabilize the company. They carefully listened to your concerns and tried to cooperate with you on all grounds. Despite many requests for specific facts for your allegations, you have never provided any written evidence. They also increasingly realized you were not capable of carrying out your duties and were negotiating in bad faith. The leadership team suggested that the most stabilizing path forward, one that would best serve our mission, company, and stakeholders, employees, and the public, would be for you to resign and put in place a qualified board that could lead the company forward in stability. Leadership. Well, look, here's the problem. Those guys are gone now. I get it. They're demanding that they bring back Sam and Greg, which sounds like a 60s singing duo, doesn't it? You know, Sam and Dave, Sam and Greg. Anyway, Microsoft has assured us that our positions. Oh, there are open positions for all OpenAI employees at the new subsidiary should we choose to join. So they're all going to Microsoft. It's not even, it's dumb to even say they're not going to. They're going to Microsoft. Straight up. Anyway, so, and then Ilya is, and then breaking, Ilya Sutskever, a co-founder of OpenAI, and 500 employees have signed a letter saying they will quit if Sam Altman does not return. Yeah, that was the letter. So there you go. Those things are trending, and that's holy. Any people who follow tech closely in the chat, because they're really wait, Gunbox. Wait, what? In other news, T-Space has launched the second test flight of Starship. I'm getting into it. Isn't that in the articles? Because I'm getting to the articles next as soon as I get done with this. Okay. All right. And then a couple other things. We've been talking about Candace Owens and the Ben Shapiro thing, and we were wondering how long Candace Owens will last at the Daily Wire. Well, Jeremy Boring, one of the founders of the Daily Wire, and I don't know if he's still head of the Daily Wire, but anyway, he posted this. Was this yesterday? No, this was on Friday, but I missed it. He says, this is Jeremy Boring. I am currently on leave of absent from my executive duties at Real Daily Wire while overseeing the producing of the Pendragon Cycle, whatever that means. In my current capacity, I cannot fire Candace Owens. That is something that Ben and I have in common, since he is also not an executive in the company and cannot hire or fire people. But even if we could, we would not fire Candace because of another thing we have in common: a desire not to regulate the speech of our host, even when we disagree with them. Candace is paid to give her opinion, not mine or Ben's, unless those opinions run afoul of the law or she violates the term of the contract in some way. Her job is secure, and she is welcome at the Daily Wire. Wow. Wow. Now that, I found that to be quite refreshing. Isn't that how it's supposed to be done? Like if you have an editorial board or you have editorial people at your publications and they have a different editorial than you, they should still be your colleague, even though if you disagree with them? Huh. Interesting. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. And then a lot of people are talking about the fact that the January 6th tape footage has been released and they're finding a whole lot of stuff. I showed you one thing there. And so here's someone who I pulled up one tweet about that. I know everyone is excited about the video footage being released, but we shouldn't take our foot off the gas. You still need to see the separation agreement Pittman negotiated with I don't know who that is, and all the all the NDAs. This is Tariq Johnson. He's a former Capitol Police officer who has been extremely critical of the January 6th prosecutions and the committee, and he's like, y'all are nuts, basically. Well, here's what he's saying. You still need to see the separation agreement Pittman negotiated with Manger, I guess those are people, and all the non-disclosure agreements that U.S. Capitol Police employees were forced to sign under Pittman and Manger, I guess they're the management, to conceal the dereliction and malfeasance in the preparation for what occurred on January 6th when the intelligence was there. My tweets don't go far anymore as I released too much information here on X, so I had to be muted. Additionally, it's looking more and more likely I won't be allowed to testify before Congress as my testimony would be damning, so someone else will have to pick up the baton. God bless. That's Tariq K. Johnson, former lieutenant, U.S. Capitol Police. He's the one that they fired because during the Capitol riots, okay, and he was in there trying to help, cool things down. He's the one that someone put a MAGA hat on his head and he just left it on and tried to keep peace with the people who were there. And generally, he was fairly successful in at least keeping the people around him calmed down, right? And he got fired because some pictures of him with a MAGA hat on were disseminated, and so he's kind of going rogue on the whole narrative, which is great. Someone here says, "Thank you for your bravery and stepping forward and loudly, repeatedly sharing what you saw. You are the true patriot in your country. May God bless and keep you safe, Tariq," and so on and so forth. So anyway, good for him. This whole debacle is kind of wild. Someone else here posted, I spent time, this is Laura Logan, the journalist, used to be for CBS News. I spent time with Victoria White, the woman being beaten over and over in this video. She is in our series on January 6th, the rest of the story with Laura Logan. It was one of the most painful interviews I've ever done. Would you believe the Biden Department of Justice charged her with obstructing police and the corrupt system, including courts stacked against any J6 defendant, forced her to plead guilty? This is happening all the time in this country. Wake up, people. January 6th was a lie from day one to cover a stolen election. Oh, she went there. Laura Logan went there and go after Trump so he could never be chosen by the people again. I had no idea. I had no idea that she went that far in her opinion of January 6th. Interesting. And then also, let's see, is this also? Yeah, here's this is a video. I'm not going to play it. It's because it's 3 minutes long, but it's a video of just weird things that happened during that insurrection. There's a couple highlighted videos that'll be in the links today, and I'm gonna skip Ramona here. I'm not even gonna put that in the links today. All right, let's get to Gunfox's articles first, and then we'll go through the major headlines and get the heck out of here. Again, thank you, Gunfox61. For dropping multiple Hamilton tip jar and bringing things that will probably make my head explode. So, an MSNBC editorial to start with. Here we go. The court should have seen the evidence leak in Trump's Georgia case coming. Neither the court nor the prosecution took action until after proffer videos were leaked. That was a mistake given the risk in high stakes. Well, I don't know what the risks are. So this is Barbara McQuaid, MSNBC columnist. Let's go through this one. Let's go through it. The mystery of who leaked the proffer videos in the Georgia election interference case involving former President Trump, and 18 co-defendants did not last long. A defense attorney for one of those co-defendants confessed in open court Wednesday that he released them to the media. He even admitted his motive. He wanted the public to know, he said, that the witness statements did not incriminate his client. Because, they're trying to, hold this tight to the vest while the prosecution in a lot of these cases are just blabbing away to the media, making their case in the public, where the defendants aren't getting to make their cases in the public. And so he did this. Now, following the release of the videos by defense attorney Jonathan Bitter, who represents defendant Misty Hampton, Judge Scott McAfee entered a protective order to prevent further public disclosures of sensitive discovery materials. But this episode demonstrates why such an order should have been in place earlier and why they are essential in high-profile cases. The leak was poor professional form by the defense attorney, but in the absence of a protective order at the time he leaked the videos, his disclosure did not violate the law. Hello, Johnny Hillcat. What's up? There we go. Leaks in criminal cases are often blamed on prosecutors, but in my experience, it's more often the case that such unauthorized disclosures come from attorneys for defendants or witnesses in an effort to make their own clients look better in the public arena. Well, and did they? The Georgia RICO case is no exception. The videos that Miller released to the media documented proffers by co-defendants Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, and Scott Hall, who have pleaded guilty in the case. Hampton is charged with participating in a scheme to tamper with election equipment in Coffee County, Georgia, with Powell and Hall. Proffers are sometimes recorded, are presented to a grand jury to lock witnesses into their stories in case their desire to cooperate later wanes. So this is they got a plea and offer to cooperate. According to Miller, leaked proffer recordings from the two of the defendants were directly related to my client, and I don't believe that either one of those hurt my client. If anything, I believe they helped my client, and the public needs to know that. Except the public has no right to this information, she says. Really? Why not? Not at this stage and in this format. Defense attorneys receive discovery material to allow them to prepare for their defense for trial, not to try their cases in the press. Well, when the prosecution does nothing but try their case in the press, sometimes you gotta fight fire with water. Hello, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
In addition to that, public disclosure not governed by the rules of evidence, which may prohibit the use of certain statements at trial. Hearing inadmissible evidence could unfairly prejudice the public against one of the parties, leading to a biased jury and in an unfair trial. Like the media? Like constant media drumbeat? Anyway, and of course, hearing only snippets of certain witness statements can be misleading because they may not represent the entirety of the evidence against any defendant, which could result in a potential jury pool reaching misleading conclusions about the strength of the case. Well, the jury pool is not supposed to have any conclusions about the strength of the case. It's not their job to. A potential jury pool, you want them to know as little as possible about anything. So, whatever. Releasing some co-defendant statements can also lead to intimidation and threaten the safety of other co-defendants and witnesses. The charges in this very case include threats and harassment of poll workers Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss after they were falsely accused by Trump of stuffing ballot boxes to steal the election for Joe Biden. In addition, cases involving Trump have led to threats against prosecutors and judges. In light of the dangers at play, protecting witness statements in this case is all the more critical. Oh, it's critical. It's critical. McAfee's new protective order states that the smooth functioning of the discovery process requires the restrictions on disclosure to encourage early production of discovery by the prosecution and the ability of defense counsel to review it without cumbersome barriers so that the case can stay on track without inordinate delay. McAfee also shut down arguments that the First Amendment prohibits restrictions on disclosure discovery, noting that the discovery is not a public process. He reasoned that the likelihood of harm from media coverage of discovery information is severe, while the limit on disclosure is temporary because the order will expire at the conclusion of the case. So look, I don't disagree with what the judge is saying here, except most of the time, often, it's prosecution that leaks stuff into the public because they're trying to also get an advantage in public opinion. So there we go. That's the first one. Gun Fox, not too bad. Not too bad. I'm not even feeling any cranial pressure right now. Let's try this one though. This is CNN. This one I have some words about. just saw some stuff recently. Science! You blinded me with science. Sound the alarm as the world briefly smashes through the 2-degree warming limit for the first time. Really, I have questions already. Because I learned something over the weekend that makes me wonder. Okay, this is CNN. The Earth's temperature briefly rose above a crucial threshold that scientists have been warning for decades could have catastrophic and irreversible impacts on the planet and its ecosystems. Data shared by a prominent climate scientist shows. For the first time, the global average temperature on Friday last week was more than 2 degrees Celsius hotter than levels before industrialization, according to a preliminary data shared on X by Samantha Burgess, Deputy Director of the Copernicus Climate Change Service based in Europe. The threshold was crossed just temporarily and does not mean that the world is at a permanent state of warming above 2 degrees, but it is a symptom of a planet getting steadily hotter and hotter ever since the Ice Age, moving towards a longer-term situation where climate crisis impacts will be difficult, in some cases impossible, to reverse. And then she shows this tweet by this one climate scientist, this one single climate scientist. Prominent ERS global temperature for 17 November from Copernicus was 1.17 Celsius above 1991 and 2020, the warmest on record. Well, wait a minute. Is this before or after they changed the temperature records? And also, again, their records go back how long? 1850? Now it says our best estimate, mind you, is that this was the first day when global temperature was more than 2 centigrade above 1850 to 1900 or pre-industrial levels at 2.06. Okay. So this is roughly 170 years of climate records that they're talking about. I'm curious. When Greenland was an agrarian society, because they have found under the melted glaciers that there are tools and farming equipment that crude, obviously, but people were farming on Greenland, which was mostly for a long time was a big old glacier, right? When they were farming on Greenland, what was the temperature then? What was the temperature in the 1500s when there was a big warming phase? What were the temperatures across the millions of years the Earth existed? Because you're counting 150, 170 years. Okay, let's start with that. Now, Burgess said that in her post that global temperatures on Friday averaged 1.17 degrees above okay, we already said that. The breach of 2 degrees on Friday came 2 weeks before the start of the UN COP28, the climate conference. Oh, how convenient. How convenient. How convenient that it happened just before a climate conference. Perfect. Where countries will take stock of their progress towards the Paris Climate Agreement pledge to limit global warming to 2 degrees above pre-industrial levels. Because, gosh darn it, man controls the weather. We can do it. We are so significant on this earth, even though that every one of us doesn't amount to a speck of dust on the sun. Holy shit. Did I say on the sun? Anyway, I meant something else, but I did whatever. But it also highlights how we are approaching these internationally agreed agreements. We can expect to see increasingly frequency of 1.5 degree or 2 degree days over the coming month and years. How do you know? Isn't carbon the lagging factor on the temperature rise? You found that out when you did the ice core samples and shit like that? Now, Copernicus data is primarily and will require weeks to be confirmed with real-life observations. So this is all estimates. This is estimates. She just estimated. These aren't even real data. Estimates. Now, let's talk about the real data. Okay, now this says the world is already on track to breach 1.5 degrees of warming on a longer-term basis in the next few years, a threshold beyond which scientists say humans and ecosystems struggle to adapt. Why? What scientists are saying that humans and ecosystems will struggle to adapt? It's not the first time. Look, I live in a place that used to be under 100 feet of ice. Glaciers. That's why there's the Great Lakes and all the lakes in Minnesota and Wisconsin and, this whole area was under glaciers. Did the temperature rise that caused the glaciers to melt and turn into the Great Lakes and all the lakes in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and northern Michigan and all that? Where are those glaciers? They're gone. What happened? Oh, the earth got warmer. How did humans adapt to that? Oh, well, I don't know if even humans are around yet, but we adapted, right? And let's say the earth gets 5 degrees warmer, okay? Won't humans adapt and just move farther north, like into Canada, and there'll be longer growing seasons in Canada and even in Minnesota, whatever? So what exactly does this mean? That humans and ecosystems struggle to adapt? No, the earth will always adapt. The earth and ecosystems, everything will always adapt. Our little minute speck of time that we are on this earth. The earth has been here for millions of years and has always adapted. We have whole new species because the earth has adapted. What are you talking about? And let's say, so this 1.5 degrees warm, that means, oh, gosh, I live in Minnesota. It'll be a tiny bit warmer in Minnesota. Thank goodness, because it's always been cold here. Although we've had a colder, I don't know. Lindsay, I live in the fucking desert. I would expect to get a little hot. Plus, there's this wonderful man-made invention called air conditioning. Yeah, that too. Hello, lunatic too, and Lindsay, nice to see you here. Oh God. Now, the UN report published Monday showed that even if countries carried out their current emissions reduction pledges, the world would reach between 2.5 and 2.9 degrees of warming sometime this century. Oh, so you're not changing anything. No matter what we do, according to the UN report published, even if they did the bullshit that they're telling you to do, it's still going to break. The temperature's still going to rise. Why is that? Is that strictly, why is that? I don't get it. Richard Allen, professor of climate science at the University of Reading in the UK, called the breach a canary in the coal mine. No, it's not. Oh, by the way, okay, let's see. Let me look at this real quick. So I want to see. The data comes on the hill that the hottest 12 months on record. No, it's not. And this is the other thing. So is it the IPCC or whatever that's called? So remember, they changed the temperature record. First of all, they didn't change it. They adjusted the temperature record because they wanted to adjust it so it seemed to be more accurate. And it's funny, when they adjusted the temperature records, it was 8-9 years ago. Was that it? I don't remember when it was exactly. I could look it up. When they adjusted those temperature records, it just happened that when they adjusted the temperature, it just perfectly worked out that when they adjusted the temperature record, there was this gradual rise in temperature after they adjusted. Now, before it was up and down and here and there and whatever. And in reality, if you went and looked at it, the temperature's gone down a little bit. But they adjusted the temperature record, and miraculously, everything that they predicted came true once they adjusted it. Now, here's the other problem. Here's the other thing too. This is funny. The data comes on the heels of the hottest 12 months on record after a year of extreme weather events supercharged by climate crisis, including fires in Hawaii, floods in North Africa, and storms in the Mediterranean, all of which claim lives. Okay, let me clue you guys into something. There have always been natural disasters that have claimed lives. But boy, it sounds super alarming when you say they were supercharged. They were supercharged by a climate crisis. Oh, by the way, So the IPCC, you know, they have all these weather stations around the world, and for the longest time, most of them were mostly located in the United States for years and years and years. Did you know that there about 60% of the climate stations that used to monitor climate are no longer functional? They don't use them anymore. But get this. So about 60% of what they used to use, they use about 40% of what they used to, the climate stations, right? But those 60% that are no longer functioning, did you know that they still get data from those non-functioning weather stations? Did you know that? Now, you might got to be wondering, wait a minute, how exactly do they get data from stations that no longer function? How do they get data from stations that no longer function? Well, here's what they do. They estimate it. 60% of the weather stations that the IPCC uses for data are estimates. And they say, oh, well, we estimate because we do manual spot checks and there, whatever, where these supposed weather stations are. It's so that's fascinating. So boy, oh boy, I tell you, if are they gonna estimate that to match what they predict? I'm just curious. It's fascinating. Thank you, Gunfox, for that head spinner. It's got two more, and I'm going to do them both, even though I'm basically out of time. These are quick, though. These are quick. Now, on this one, apparently, this is some space news. Apparently, the Webb detects neon in young star system, proves insight into planet formation. This is interesting. In 2008, observations from NASA's now retired Spitzer infrared space telescope hinted at the presence of neon within the protoplanetary disk of sun-like star SZ Camelonotus. However, Spitzer's instruments could not confirm whether this reading was correct. Over a decade after Spitzer's results were published, the joint NASA European Space Agency and Canadian Space Agency James Webb Space Telescope observed SZ-CHA, which is they call the SC Camelonotus, SZ-CHA, and directly detected distinct amounts of neon in the protoplanetary disk of SZ-CHA, confirming Spitzer's observation from 2008. So this seems like just special can acid. Oh, I already said it. So anyway, here's what this means. 15 years ago, Spitzer saw unusual readings of neon in a still developing solar system. Webb just discovered the abnormal neon 3 has all but disappeared. Scientists believe clues to our solar system's past may lie in these flashing neon signs, so to speak. In other words, they believe this is they're getting idea this is maybe how planets form, getting more mysteries of the universe. Now, it's so technical. I don't want to put you all to sleep, but here's one of the main paragraphs. Planets are essentially in a race against time to form up in the disk before it evaporates. In computer models of developing systems, extreme ultraviolet radiation allows for 1 million more years of planet formation than if the evaporation is predominantly caused by X-rays, said co-author Thanawat of Boston University. However, when they returned to SZ-CHA and its protoplanetary disk with Webb, they found that the Neon 3 signature detected by Spitzer wasn't there, likely meaning that the Neon 3 within SZ-CHA's protoplanetary disk had entirely disappeared. This disappearance of the Neon 3 from the disk was probably due to the dominance of X-ray radiation within the disk, a typical occurrence within these types of protoplanetary disks. So anyway, it's all about how planets form, and it's really technical article, and I don't necessarily understand all of it. I get the gist of it, but basically this star was similar to our sun, but it was 4 or 5 billion years ago at the dawn of the solar system. Raw materials for Earth and eventually life were present in the disk of material that surrounded the sun after it formed. So studying these other young systems is as close as we can get to going back in time to see how our own story began. So that's basically what they're getting out of this. So they're learning a lot from this, and it's kind of wild. Things they're learning by with these new telescopes that are. I'm just waiting for them to find another planet with life. So there you go. All right, let's do the last Gunfox article, then we'll do headlines and get out of here. This is from the Free Press. Why Western women, oh my God, Gunfox. Why Western women are converting to Islam. Since October 7th, young Americans have been professing their devotion to the Quran and the ultimate rebellion against the West because they hate themselves. They're self-flogging. It took Megan Rice just 3 weeks to go from opening the Quran to professing her belief that Muhammad is the one true messenger of God. It all started on October 20th when Rice, a Black American millennial-aged activist, announced on TikTok that she was reading the Holy Book for the first time. Maybe later. Perched on her... This post is for paying subscribers. Oh, I can't even read this one, Gunfox. Well, here's what... We'll read as much as we can. Perched on her couch in gray sweatshirt, she said that her then 400,000 followers in a video that she has since viewed more than 5.3 million times. It just seems that Palestinians have this ironclad faith, even in the face of losing quite literally everything. Yeah, it's called Hamas blocking them from getting killed. Oh, shrapnel. 3 days later, she founded the World Religion Book Club, a virtual community now boasting more than 13,000 members, where she conducts live readings of the Quran. Israel's response to the Hamas attack on October 7th is where her journey toward religion all started. Well, so she wants to take out some more Jewish people? Is that what that started her journey? Oh, what a wonderful way to start your journey. I'm holy shit. By November 10th, she first appeared on TikTok in a hijab, and the number of her follows had doubled. It currently stands at 865. Well, sure, because all the Muslims are following her now. Oh, God. The next day, Rice took her Shahada, the Islamic ceremonial profession of faith, officially converting to Islam. Rice is among a new swath of TikTok users, typically non-Arab, left-leaning Western women who consider themselves reverts to Islam based on the belief that all people are born on a natural path to Islam and therefore revert rather than convert to the religion. Oh my God. I'm so sad that I can't read the rest of this article for you, but if you happen to be a subscriber to the Free Press, or you can subscribe to it, feel free. Yay. Way to go, Western women. Western liberals are just awesome. All right, let me tell you what's in the link since I can't get to it. This is more about the J6 tapes. The J6 daddy issues. Fascists are terrified they're about to be exposed. This is Steven Cruiser. He's kind of funny. Happy Monday. They're back in the news, and they're just as irritating ever. The House Soviet Select Committee on Daddy Issues, also known as the J6 Committee, has come under some long overdue scrutiny, courtesy of Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. Johnson decided to wrap up last week by throwing a little spice into the normally moribund Friday news cycle, which Matt wrote about. To restore America's trust and faith in government, we must have transparency, Johnson said in the post on Twitter. This is another step towards keeping the promise I made when I was elected to be your speaker. What did he do? Well, he publicly released footage from the events of January 6th. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, because people are going through it and finding a lot of very interesting things on that. Now, Senator Mike Lee, the Republican from Utah, has demanded an investigation into the J6 committee itself, following the release of thousands of hours of unseen security video footage from the Capitol riot Monday, January 6th. Utah Senator Mike Lee demanded that the House January 6th committee be investigated for deliberately hiding footage that told an entirely different story of the riot. Why is my phone ringing? Stop. I can't do it. I can't answer you. Shut up. Anyway, that was pushed by the committee. So, and he asked, why didn't Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger ever refer to any of these tapes? Because they only had one purpose on the January 6th committee. All right, I got to move on, though. There's an article here about the fall of Minneapolis. movie, which I've linked the last couple shows. But the Alpha Doc explodes false George Floyd narratives in a harrowing detail. The fall of Minneapolis, now playing on Rumble, lets the Minneapolis-based Alpha News team dissect the death of George Floyd and its aftermath. The Rumble debut makes sense in more ways than one. No Hollywood studio would touch this radioactive material. Streamers would rather air a double feature of Batgirl and Coyote versus Acme than Sheriff Fall. Plus, the film's steady drumbeat with shocking revelations may make audience hit the pause button a time or two. So, yeah, you got to watch it. I'm going to watch it today, in fact. Breitbart, Yemen Houthi rebels hijack an Israeli-linked ship in the Red Sea and take 25 crew members hostages. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels have seized... Okay, we just said that. They say the same thing 3 times in a row. Gosh, Breitbart, you drive me nuts with this. Not good. We'll see what happens with that. You can read the rest of it there. Free Beacon. Welcome to hell. Israeli soldiers troll Hamas from the ruins of Gaza. I don't know if that's necessary. There's the Israeli Defense Forces official messaging about its war against Hamas, and then there's the photographs and videos coming from the front line. As Israeli soldiers have laid waste to Hamas's Islamist terror state in the Gaza Strip, they have sometimes deviated from the IDF's somber wartime tone with irreverent displays of Jewish power on social media this week. Those displays include troops flying an Israeli flag on the dais of Hamas's parliament, blessing a house with a Jewish prayer scroll, and holding mini rave in honor of their friends who were slaughtered at a dance party on October 7th. I get showing pictures of you in this conquered area and whatnot. I think you got to be careful being cocky about it, though. But it is, it's not like the Hamas people didn't take video of them beheading babies in front of their parents. So, whatever. IDF has revealed that Hamas murdered Noah Marciano at the Shifa Hospital. Oh, wait a minute. I thought that was just a hospital where they were just taking care of the poor people that were being injured in this thing, and the Hamas has nothing to do with the hospital. Well, the Israeli Defense Forces released evidence Sunday that Hamas murdered captured soldier Noah Marciano at Shifa Hospital in Gaza. It also showed surveillance footage of terrorists taking other hostages to the hospital. So there's information on that. In legal insurrection, Israel pumping exploding gel into Hamas tunnels. So here's the thing. Hamas knows that Israel, when they decided to attack, after they waited, 2-3 weeks after they attacked, they knew that Israel was going to come after their tunnels. So Israel basically got some intelligence that the Hamas people were going to booby trap the tunnels. So instead of actually going down into the tunnels, they've been pumping this, they say it's gel. It's like a foam. Like, you know how you buy that can of red expanding foam you use for insulation? Basically, they have this exploding gel into the tunnels, and then they blow up the tunnels. So anyway, the main here, anxious to limit losses among its soldiers, Israeli military has deployed a complex array of technologies to probe and attempt to destroy underground complexes, eventually the Hamas leadership, including around Al-Shifa Hospital. From the air, surveillance drones seek to detect hidden structures, while warplanes are equipped with bunker buster bombs designed to penetrate hardened structures to reach deep below the ground. On the ground, bulldozers clear areas suspected to be above the subterranean network, while attack dogs, unmanned vehicles, and robots used to help explore the underground terrain. Also, the military's arsenal is a new weapon, a chemical grenade that doesn't contain explosives, but rapidly expands and solidifies foam to seal off entrances, known as the sponge bomb. The high-tech tactics aim to avoid risk of sending soldiers into Hamas several hundred kilometers of tunnels. So they're using some new technologies against the tunnels. Good for them. Now, there was a poll. Apparently, Palestinians expressed strong support for the October 7th massacre and Hamas while opposing Israel's existence. Anyone shocked? I'm not. Front page. Massachusetts and Michigan cities display Palestinian flags in solidarity. Let me guess. I'm going to say Dearborn would be the city in Michigan. Let's see who that is. And North Andover, Massachusetts. North Andover High School was the site of a lively select board meeting that approved proposal to fly the flag of countless murdered murderous jihadis over the town common. And Dearborn Heights. Yep, Dearborn. Okay, I was right. And the Dearborn based dad that didn't want the trans stuff taught in schools. I had so much hope for them. Inside an Ivy League student group's private response to Hamas October attack, Brown University Students for Justice in Palestine chapter called an emergency meeting to defend the terror group's massacre. Hours after its October 7th terror assault to the Jewish state, Brown University student group called an emergency meeting to plot its public responses. The group members during that meeting argued that Hamas's attack was justified violence and, in fact, a victory according to internal documents obtained by the Washington Free Beacon. Jesus Christ. This is before Israel retaliated. So, people celebrating Hamas's massacre. Not good. There's more in the article, though. And apparently NYU, a medical cancer doctor, fired for sharing this legal insurrection cartoon about Hamas. Yeah, so he was fired for this. Could you meet us at least halfway? The sign here, if you can't read it, says demands from Hamas, death to all Jews, talking to Netanyahu. With John Kerry supposedly negotiating. And it perfectly captured Hamas's goal to exterminate the Jews, which is in its charter. John Kerry's effectiveness and the international pressure on Israel in seeking compromise with Hamas, death cult. It was and remains by far the most of our shared of our cartoons, and it rocketed around the world in 2014 and remains a favorite because it reflects the same Hamas death cult, same U.S. diplomatic fecklessness, and same Israel dilemma, and is being widely shared again. Well, apparently this guy got fired for sharing. Oh, look at all these accounts sharing it. They got just tons of them. A renowned Manhattan cancer doctor says he was unceremoniously dumped from a prestigious director position at NYU Langone for supporting Israel on social media in the wake of the Hamas attack. Of course he was. Okay, in legal insurrection. There's a fake hate crime in Ohio. A man faked an anti-Palestinian hate crime. An individual, this one right here. An individual in a dark SUV, this was how CARE reported. An individual in a dark SUV reportedly hit a man in Ohio before shouting "Long live Israel" and anti-Palestinian slurs at him. What are anti-Palestinian slurs? I don't even know what those are. We urge law enforcement authorities to fully investigate this disturbing attack and charge the perpetrator with a hate crime. Well, it was fake. The victim was arrested for lying about his hate crime involving anti-Palestinian slurs. His injuries came from a fight with his brother, who had also been arrested. There was no hit and run and no anti-Palestinian slurs shouted. Isn't that special? National Pulse, Palestinian officials banned Christmas decorations in Bethlehem, Christ's birthplace, to honor the Hamas martyrs. Palestinian officials are taking apart Christmas decorations in Bethlehem, the city of Christ's birth, and will not allow the tree and lights traditionally put up over the holiday to go up because they're intolerant. Daily Wire, California Democratic leader vows punishment for any delegate who aided disruptive anti-Israel protesters. Now, this is a change. A Democrat who does not like the anti-Israeli protesters. A top California Democrat said Sunday that there would be consequences for any delegate who helped a group of anti-Israel protesters that interrupted a party convention in Sacramento on Saturday. So he's just mad that somebody helped them interrupt their convention. Rusty Hicks, former union leader, is now the chairman of the California Democratic Party, said that an investigation is underway into the disruption that led officials to nix some events that night for security reasons. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, Politico reported that Hicks told members any delegates who actively participated in or aided the furtherance of those activities or events in violation of our party's code of conduct will be held accountable. Well, will they really? I doubt it. There's nothing going to happen. There's too many people on both sides of that issue in the Democrat Party, at least. Okay, PJ Media. Israel arrests NBC journalist for inciting terrorism. Now, this is interesting. An NBC journalist was arrested on Thursday in Israel for allegedly inciting terrorism and expressing affiliation with Hamas. Marwat al-Azah, 45-year-old journalist employed by the NBC television network and living in East Jerusalem, was arrested after 4 recent posts on her personal Facebook page regarding the October 7th terror attack by Hamas from the Gaza Strip, in which at least 1,200 people were murdered and 240 taken hostage. The police claim that al-Azah arrived ready for arrest without a mobile phone and even wrote phone numbers on her leg. She's a Palestinian freelance journalist, reportedly mocked the kidnapping of an elderly Israeli woman in Gaza. Israel News has the details of her post. So, I wonder, it's not America, so they can do whatever the hell they want. I haven't read the whole story. She's, her attorney defended her by pointing out she cooperated with authorities. This is a normative woman engaged in journalism, and her role is very important to everyone. Al-Azah's defense attorney claimed. She was asked in her investigation about her work. I believe that in the things she attributed to her, she cooperated fully. She did not try to hide, saying, "I had a hacker." She blamed it on a hacker. Okay. All right, you can read that one yourself. She blamed it on a hacker. Jets Joe Namath accused of allowing child sex abuse at football camp. Oh, this is not good. Jets legend Joe Namath covered up sexual abuse at his facility, according to court papers filed by a man who says he was assaulted there 51 years ago. Philip Lyle Smith, 64, recently told the Post about his horrific ordeal at a Joe Namath instructional football camp, speaking publicly for the first time about claims he detailed as John Doe in an ongoing Brooklyn lawsuit. Smith said his alleged sexual predator was a well-known Brooklyn Poly Prep County Club football coach, Philip Foglietta, later revealed to be a serial pedophile who abused scores of students at the Tony School. And he's claiming that they knew about it. Hey, boy, that's tough, man. Well, we'll have to see how that one goes. All right, that's it, guys. There's more articles, headlines. Oh, the first state to decriminalize hard drugs is looking to reverse their liberal experiment. Is that Oregon? Yes! Officials in Oregon are considering reversing key provisions of the 2021 liberal experiment to decriminalize heroin and fentanyl, the Telegraph reported. The rationale behind the original initiative, called Measure 110, was that decriminalizing hard drugs would make access to treatment easier for addicts, according to the Telegraph. Currently, support for Measure 110 in Oregon, the first state to take the step of decriminalizing hard drugs, appears to be waning, according to the outlet, whereas Measure 110 was backed by 58% of voters in November 2020. A recent Emerson College poll revealed that public opinion has swung drastically, with 56% of voters now saying they would back a repeal. Imagine. They no longer back legal heroin and fentanyl. Who would have guessed ever? No way. Hi, Genty. Oh my gosh. Cardi B is mad at Eric Adams because of budget cuts. Crimes are going to go through the roof. Cardi B, man, for not the brightest human person. Sometimes she ever goes off on taxes and government, and then sometimes she gets it right. She isn't happy about New York City Mayor Eric Adams' plan for sweeping budget cuts. Well, you got to make room for the illegals. And they're spending billions of dollars on illegals. So she has a video of her going off about the $120 million budget cut in New York that'll affect schools, libraries, the police department, and sanitation while funding wars. Well, no. See, now that's where she went off the rails. Oh, no, that's the government, on the U.S. government. But the budget cut in New York is not going to fund wars, I don't think. Anyway, that's weird. You can listen to Cardi B and her balloons. California suspends gun license. Oh, this guy. So some guys came. This is a California homeowner. Some guys came, and bad guys with guns came and got to attack him, and he got in a shootout with them. And now they're suspending his gun license because he protected his family from the intruders. Los Angeles homeowner Vince Ritchie says he was coming home from the gym when 2 intruders ran up behind him after jumping the fence in his backyard. Out of nowhere, I felt someone run up on me and put something in my back, put a pistol in my back, and somebody running up, whatever, I guess they decided to try to come at me and come in the house, and I have a 5-month-old baby and a wife and a nanny in the house, and that wasn't going to happen, so he They got in a little, somehow they got in a gunfight and they've suspended his gun license. I wonder if they suspended the gun license of the perpetrators. That's good news. All right, there's several other articles you can look at, but I gotta go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today on the Morning Night Live, which we're here Monday through Friday, whatnot. Please hit the like button if you haven't done so on Rumble and on YouTube. And share the stream. Even though it's done, you can still share it. You can share the one tomorrow. You can share the one from a couple days ago. Share one last week. You can share the very first stream I ever did on the show if you wanted to. Just share them and let people know we're here. I hope you all enjoyed the show. I got to go. My name is P-Dog Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. What the hell was that? The hell is that? Hold on. That is not how that's supposed to go. Let's try this again. Why is my outro not working? Well, okay. Whatever. That's it. Goodbye. Sorry. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.